welcome to your tarot reading for January 2021. Thanks so much for joining me, Alyssa Arundell, here today for your monthly reading. Let's see what the new year brings into your situation. If you would like to read your yearly reading, I will pop that in the link down beneath this video. Also, if you want to check out your free 3-card tarot spread, you can also find that there. And finally, if you do want to reach out to me for a live one-to-one consultation, we can certainly work together, and I'd look forward to that. But without further ado, let's get in to see what this brand new month for this brand new year holds for your individual zodiac sign. Hello Cancer, and thank you so much for joining me for your January 2021 tarot card reading. Welcome to a new month with your cards flying out already. So you pulled two for this, and they're both wands, which is really interesting. You've got here the 7 of Wands, and then underneath here you've got the 9. These two cards, in my opinion, are very, very similar in terms of what they represent. The 7 of Wands asks you to stand up for your beliefs. Very much being clear, Cancer, about what your beliefs are, what your moral compasses are. And it's not to say that people are necessarily going to oppose you, although having pulled both of these cards, I do think that is a possibility. Don't be backed into a corner, but also at the same time, Cancer, don't automatically think that you have to go on the defensive. Just being honest here, because people might actually be more than willing to listen to your viewpoint. So the 7 of Wands asks you to, first of all, stand up for what you believe in. The 9 has a very similar energy. This time it's asking you to protect what you've created. If you have an idea, if you have something that you've created that's something to do with your business, if it's to do with your career, or your relationship, your home, someone could be encroaching on that territory, or at least that's how you perceive it, that's how you feel it. And what this card is asking you to do is stand up for yourself, but also make sure that that protective Cancerian comes out. I think Patrick says this in a lot of his videos, that Cancer energy isn't just about being a homemaker. It's not just about cooking and baking and making sure the family's okay. You have that crab-like tendency, so there can be a defensiveness. The negative part of Cancer can have that. I have Cancer rising, so I get that. But also you kind of flip from side to side like a crab on the beach. You know, you're waiting for something to happen. Maybe you have been through a lot in your life, which can lead you to feel like you have to sort of protect, defend. And then there's also this hard shell, which means that people can't always read what you're thinking, which in some ways is very good, because you can come across as very mysterious, and that can be very sexy and sensual actually. But on the other side, people might not always feel they get to know you deeply. But underneath all of that stuff, there is a real squishy center. But this month is asking you to just make sure your armor's on. Not with everybody though. It's picking those battles and making sure that you're standing up and you're defending yourself against the right people, because there are people that do have your back, and you know, we don't want to be frightening those people away. It's just the people who may take from you this month, Cancer. Right, your next card that comes up here is a card that's not easy in a lot of ways. You've got the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords is about creating a prison within our own minds, and this is not a accusation. This is just something that you might be going through this month. Generally, with the 8 of Swords, you can feel a little bit trapped into a situation, like you can't speak up about something. Maybe you don't want to hurt somebody else, you don't want to ruin somebody else's dream, but ultimately you do have to voice your mind, and that actually might help the people around you make decisions for themselves. It might actually work out better for them. So yes, there is always a way out though with this card, because if we think of this flower in the middle, it thinks it's stuck, but actually if we imagine that this is a pen, there are multiple avenues out of this. It's just gated up, so it looks like it is enclosed, but there's ways to open these gates. And that is very much what the 8 of Swords is about. It's about feeling closed, but just know, Cancer, if that does feel like a bit like how you're feeling in January. There is a way out of it, and so that's really optimistic. Now, the next card that comes up for you lovely Cancerians is the High Priestess reversed. And the High Priestess is very much about secrets. So reversed, it could mean that some kind of secret is revealed. Maybe there are certain parts of you that feel like you're lacking knowledge in some areas, and having knowledge is very, very important to you. So it could be about learning, investigation, some kind of detective work. The High Priestess generally, when she's upright, is very depolarized. So she's not pushed and pulled between the two pillars of which she sits. She has this element of detachment about her, but a good kind of detachment, not getting pulled into dramas. With it being reversed, it might feel that you have slightly lost your equilibrium a little bit in January, that you're not feeling as centered as you may want to. But again, this too will pass. It can be a difficult month for a lot of people. You know, you're starting a new year, and also this year, it's like, I think a lot of us are almost going to be putting 2021 on a pedestal, because 2020 has almost become a curse word, right? But it might not quite work out like that. It's not necessarily going to be this panacea that just, you know, just because we've got a new year, COVID isn't necessarily just going to go away. And so there may be a bit of melancholy about that. But overall, I feel there's real strength coming through you this month, Cancer. It's, you know, it might sound like it's a bit tough, but actually you're finding your fire again. You're finding your ability to be able to speak up for yourself again. Now, which archangel is helping you on this month? I thought that this month would be really nice, especially because it's a new year, to see which angel. So this card's poking out, so we'll go with this. Right, this card has actually come up before this month. I think it was Taurus, I think. So it says Archangel Metatron here. The word on this card is prioritize. Focus on your highest priorities. I will help you get organized and motivated. Metatron is said to be one of two archangels, the other being Sandalphon, who actually had a human existence, which is very rare within itself. And because of this, this angel is very much attuned to how it might feel to be a human. Because if we look at our lives from a spiritual perspective, everything can sound quite nice. It's like, well, yeah, that makes sense. Death makes sense. Renewal makes sense. Trauma makes sense because it's all for my soul, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, it's true, but it's not always helpful because we're here having a human experience. So what this angel is saying is, okay, the best way to navigate this month for you, Cancer, is to focus on what are your priorities. How can you stay organized? How can you stay motivated? How can you voice what you need and what you want? Don't let the month drag on in a wishy-washy way, or let your thoughts just carry on, or don't, you know, not speaking up because you don't want to offend, because eventually you will have to speak up. So nip it in the bud, get it done at the start of the month, and I feel this huge relief, this weight is just going to lift off you, and that's a really brilliant way to start this year, I feel, for you, Cancer. It's been a real honour being with you. Thank you so much for watching. I'd be really honoured if you subscribed and hit that notification bell if you haven't done already. But until we speak again next month, stay safe and have a very happy new year. Alyssa.